Welcome to Rauta, welcome to Vinyl Monday. I am Jerry, and this time we go into the world of black metal with three different bands from the scene. All recognized underground names, and as such all also liked and respected ones, namely Ofermod, Black Altar, Acherontas. Three different countries too, because this time we have Sweden, Poland and Greece. So, as it is, we have a vinyl version here, but also the CD version. Let's start with the what I would call lesser version, even though this digipak is also beautiful. Drakonian Elitism, featuring cover with a dragon, and then some logos of all three mentioned bands, and on the other side, by this Odium Records release, also known for Black Altar, his band, you'll see 4 tracks by Ofermod, 4 more tracks by Black Altar, and then Acherontas. I'll explain further down we go what it is in fact. Here we have explanation of the whole thing, and of course the cover, back cover, and since this is 4-fold release, we have Black Altar page, we have the booklet, we have the CD, we have Acherontas page. So if we remove the booklet, you will see yet another picture right here, and underneath the CD there is even more graphics. So as you can see, very beautiful glossy digipak release featuring these bands in question. And because of these are all black metal bands, obviously there is some similarities, but mind you, these are also very different in terms of style. Ofermod may be the most recognized act of all these, but it's still as old as Black Altar, coming from mid-90s, 1996 or so. And Ofermod is known for a couple of reasons. First of all, there are mental issues which tend to have put this band in question for various problems throughout the years. And later on they actually combined forces with Black Altar in order to do live performances, like this year, Black Altar and Ofermod. And all these three were actually supposed to be playing at Steelfest, but unfortunately, due to some Ofermod problems, they got cancelled. So only Black Altar and Acherontas got to play. Well, I would say in question marks only, because it's very questionable which of these bands is the best one. This is of course very much depending what kind of black metal you prefer. This is very tight, as you can see, and this is very beautiful packaging. I know it without even unboxing it, because sometimes you just know these things. So as you can see, this is a very thick packaging, and as such very hard to get out and in from the sleeve. This is obviously gatefold, and not only one LP but 2. Let's first tackle these babies in question. So as you can see, here is Ofermod, and then we have Black Altar here. These are, I guess, 180 grams. As you can see, very sturdy looking, nice looking ones. Classic black vinyl. I'm saying beautiful in the sense that you don't really need much more than that. Then we have this second LP, which then of course features Acherontas on the other side, and then some beautiful etched graphics for Drakonian Elitism. Let's put these babies aside so that we can actually take a look at this cover. So unlike the digipak, this ain't glossy, but quite the other way around, and I must say I prefer this one even more. Beautiful graphics once again. All tracks are nicely listed here, Odium logo here, and some graphics there. And when you open the gatefold, you will see these graphics in full size, and then some band pictures. Now, this wouldn't be a perfect packaging if it wasn't for booklets and other ingredients. So, like I said, I'm gonna do full unboxing here, so you get to see what's inside in case you prefer to go with the vinyl. But CD, like I said, also very nice. And here we have a poster that once again gives you the draconic graphics as well as some band photos right there. Very, very beautiful if you ask me, and this is how vinyl should be. This should be the benchmark of when you're gonna do a vinyl version of a thing. You make it perfect with all the lyrics, all the art, all the liner notes, and this is indeed how it looks. Very, very beautiful. So if there's something missing, maybe you're looking for lyrics, and whatever the reason is, they are not available here. So if I get to criticize one thing, that would be where are the lyrics. But sometimes band choose to go without them, so let's respect that or not. It's up to you, obviously. So here we have then again all the band pages on Metal Archives, because now we're talking about the music. First, Sweden, Norra Köping, Ofermod 1996 onwards. 5 albums so far, very much like on and off during the career because of some members' personal issues and all. And here finally, 2023, originally mentioned Drakonian Elitism, which is later on released and CD as well. I mean, here it says 2023, but I don't know. I got the impression that this was a little bit delayed and more like spring 2024. Maybe I'm mistaken, but it is what it is here. Then Black Altar, once again, 1996 from Poland, later relocated. And only 2 albums. This is curious because the band has been here for almost 30 years. But then again, lots of splits, lots of EPs. So maybe this is indeed more focusing on the underground collaborations rather than album worth of stuff. And then we have Acherontas, the most active of all these bands. 11 years younger than those counterparts here, but as you can see, more albums, 9 or so, then some splits, singles, even live albums, compilations, what have you, and this is how it is. Now, in my opinion, musically, it's hard to figure out which is the best based on all the stuff here, because they're different and they have various amount of music out, but I guess I would go for Black Altar in general. Maybe more so because I found it more consistent. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with any of these bands as such, but if I had to pick one, it would probably go for Black Altar. Now we go into this album then again, featuring 4 tracks by Ofermod, starting it with an intro and then 3 tracks. Well, I would say this is not the best what Ofermod has to offer. By no means it's not bad, but it's a little bit lukewarm compared to the best works by the band. Kind of a grim, basic Swedish black metal, and nothing wrong with that as such, but it's not really including the best of the pile what the band has had to offer throughout the years. It's more like feeling a little bit leftoverish here. But maybe this depends once again on the background and all, how much Ofermod you have heard. If this is the first time you get to listen to the band, maybe you are overly excited. But I was more like mirroring this one to the albums I have heard before, and I felt like I was just simply expecting a little bit more. Maybe in sense of aggression, maybe in sense of esoteric atmosphere and all. Now it seems more like the kind of a basic Ofermod. More like fillers rather than killers. But still quite okay, so can't really bitch about it. Quite good and all that stuff. However, this is, in my opinion, shadowed by whatever Black Altar has here to offer. Once again, outro and 3 tracks, so basically both of these first 2 bands have like 3 real songs and then an outro. Black Altar is more melodic and in a way also more aggressive, more catchy also than Ofermod. And as such, in my opinion, it really steals the show here. It's obviously the most, dominating band on this split. And even though it's probably the less known act of all these 3, I think it kind of shows that it has a lot of power and lots of potential with its melodic yet aggressive, yet still kind of a classy second wave of black metal. So in my opinion, it's the most powerful of all this trio, and as such, also the best band. Acherontas is a curious one, because technically speaking, there is one ambient track, Astra Magla, and then there is this opening track, Intra Psyche, which is basically, well, the only black metal track by them. And as such, it's really hard to compare because they have only like one black metal song versus these other bands' trio of sorts. And because it ends with the ambient, what you in the end remember out of Acherontas on this album is more like, so they decided to do an ambient track. Where is the black metal? And then you go kind of a back, and when again this last track starts rolling in, it kind of makes it as a conclusion of all. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty fitting for the rest of us, but because of being lengthier track than the actual metal track, there is one thing to remember and feels like all I get if Acherontas on this album is the ambient one. Nothing wrong with that, especially if you like ambient, but it just kind of steals the show, maybe in a wrong fashion. I don't really know. It depends totally whatever you prefer. But like I said, if I get to choose the best of the pile here, I would say Black Altar. It's just something more intense than the other two, which are just fine, but does really just fine. Are you happy with it when you can go even better than that? All of these bands are worthy, so there's no like big disappointments or anything like that. But like I said, when you have a trio of bands, you kind of start looking for the winner and you start looking for the least spot. Yeah, that's a tricky one. But I would say if you like any of these bands, this is a good collector's item, actually really beautiful collector's item for the various reasons. First of all, the packaging and also the tracks, which are not available in this beautiful way, in this beautiful context, except for this split. Now, depending your preference, obviously, whether you go for the CD, which is nice and more fullable, or maybe the more expensive, but then again, also way more beautiful double vinyl. Well, off you go, figuring out that whatever kind of listener you are. If I would say, if you're just getting these for collection, not so much for active listening, obviously the vinyl is the way to go. If you go more active listening and you hate kind of like switching vinyl on the go and blah blah blah, well, obviously go for the CD. But give these bands a listen and figure out which are your favorites. I think it's a beautiful release, and like I said, this should be the benchmark for future LP versions to come. Now, off you go. Check out the links provided in the description box for the music of all these three bands, and what can I say? I hope you like them. See you next round with more reviews coming your way.